Welcome back to the King's Corner, the place for all things Bethesda. I am the KingFanMan. Hey, and if you love Bethesda and you're not a subscriber yet to the KingFanMan channel, why not? I talk about Bethesda all the time on this channel. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell too, so you'll be notified every time I upload a video. I am so excited today for this video because I get to tell you about survival mode, nuclear winter, mods, and cut content coming soon to Fallout 76. You say, how is this even possible? Well, it is through a passion project called Server 76. I have a special guest that's going to join me in just a minute that's going to help explain this whole project. I'm so excited today. I'm joined by Gizmo first, and I'm going to let him introduce you. And would you tell us a little bit about your channel?
I can, yeah. I'm Gizmo first. I'm a relatively small channel, and I'm quite happy doing what I'm doing. I started off to be extremely positive. I don't think anybody is more positive than the King, but I do try. Although, since they shut down my favorite mode, which we're going to talk a little bit about today, I unfortunately am having trouble staying positive. I still love the game. I want to see the game succeed. I'm just not sure Bethesda does, but I'm sure we'll have a chance to talk about that today. Yeah, so this is all about the King today. He's got some questions for me, so I'm going to hand back over to him.
We're going to be positive today because we have something extremely positive to talk about. We're going to talk about Server 76, and I want to know all about it. I know the people want to know all about it. It's basically a server replacement. Would that be a basic way of saying what it is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And we're going to explain what that is. It's a way to bring nuclear winter back. It's a way to bring survival mode back. It's a way to bring basic mods back to the game. And when did this project begin?
Well, I was under the impression, because I was approached by the team when the announcement dropped that nuclear winter was being cut, to do some videos about their own efforts, because I was quite downtrodden, to be honest. And one of the guys that I knew was connected with this team, and he said, "Oh, do you want to make some videos because we're doing this great thing?" So I assumed that they'd been going for a couple of months, 3 months, but it seems that they started a lot longer ago than that, possibly as much as 2 years, because they, as a group of programmers, kind of saw the writing on the wall that what we thought we were going to get, like fully customizable servers where you would be able to, put mods up on Nexus, and you'd have teams of people making like anything you could think of, that this wasn't going to happen, and it was always going to be attached to Bethesda in some way, and they wouldn't give the kind of freedom that games like Fallout 4, you're not going to be able to put a Death Star in the sky with stormtroopers running around killing each
other.
No
Thomas the Tank Engine, nothing like that.
No Thomas Tank Engine. Although with Server 76, that might be possible. Yes. If you love Thomas Tank Engine and you want to see him drive through Appalachia, if that's your thing, you're going to make it happen.
Okay, in layman's terms, just to let everybody know, and I know we kind of did the very basics, but what is Server 76, just in the basic terms?
Basically, it's a client which you install on your computer, and you will be able to run it like a Minecraft server. So you will have your own Appalachia. You will be able to invite your friends to be part of it, or you're going to be able to play completely solo. At the moment, it's just the base game. So as far as I'm aware, they will not have Wastelanders as part of that yet. But legacy weapons will still be in the game. When they weren't legacy, they were just completely normal. But they are hoping that if they can get it running, and so it will be stable, that they will then be able to work on some of the newer content. There are legal issues involved as well, which we are also going to touch on a little bit today. And I'm sure this is the first thing that people usually ask me about that as well. So I'm going to try and answer the best I can. Like I say, I'm not actually part of the team. I'm not a programmer, but I've been in touch with them, and I've put everything they've told me into kind of layman's terms, because if you have a look on my channel, I did an interview with one of the devs, and he's talking like, Klingon. I don't know. But
and we're actually going to talk about why we're not talking to them right now, which we may be doing later on, which is a good thing. We may have them back, but right now we're going to talk about why they're not. So this server right now, they're working on the basic adventure mode, nuclear winter, survival mode and
Uh-huh.
mods. That's
Yeah,
basically, and
that's what
this
you can
this is
yeah.
really a big deal because not only right now can it be used, this is something important for whether the game lasts for another year or 10
Mhm.
years. This is something that's going to be needed when the game ends as well.
Yeah, this is something I found that a lot of people don't want to talk about, is that when the game ends, there's people that say the game is in a good place right now. And I do believe that even though it is making money, you can't deny it, but it is making money off of the building community, cosmetics. But I think you even pointed out recently that even that seems to be coming to an end because they're not making new stuff. They're putting old stuff back into the atomic shop. So eventually that kind of revenue is going to end, and they will not, whether it's in the green isn't as important for a company as Microsoft is whether it is more in the green than other projects. For example, Starfield, which is coming up. If Starfield is a big success and they're going to keep their team on that, making DLC and different stuff like that, they're not going to see the worth of keeping Fallout 76 going, even if it is in the green. I predicted it was going to get shut down. It might not, but it might be left on kind of, they'll leave the servers on, but nothing new will be added to it. So
Gotcha. Well, let's get to the elephant in the room. Is this
yeah,
approved by Bethesda yet?
I can neither confirm nor deny that. They would love nothing else, nothing more than for Bethesda to get in touch with them through channels and say, look, we love what you're doing. Would you like to continue and do this? They're not looking for funding. There's no money involved, but at the moment, it's not at that point.
But that's what
The
they're working toward.
That's what they're working toward. What they would love to do is release this, have Bethesda say, wow, that's really cool. Let's get behind this. We've got people that are doing it for free. They're not looking for money. So just to keep the game alive, basically speaking, because they're a group of people that are really passionate about the game. A lot of people, they've come under fire through my channel, through other people's channels as well, as being like kind of harbingers of doom. They're not. They're actually people who really care about the game. So it's not approved by Bethesda at the moment, and I think that will probably lead on to your next point. They need to be quite secretive about who they are, where they are, what they're doing, what they were. I can, reveal some stuff about them, but I am in contact about how much I can,
which
obviously say.
which is why we're not directly talking to them today, but hopefully we will be able to get them on with us
There are plans.
very
Actually. There
soon.
are
Yes.
plans. Yeah.
So they want it to be approved, but we do know that many of these passion projects at times have been shut down by Bethesda. Other modding projects, whether it be a New Vegas project or even a Fallout 3 project, are they worried about this project being shut down by Bethesda?
Of course. Yeah. I mean, I think all of us know of at least one project that we were really looking forward to seeing, playing, and being a part of that got shut down. Either they either got shut down or they were made so difficult to come into realization that they just said no. We can't put that kind of work into it. So yeah, they are worried about that. But at the moment, all I can really reveal is that this would be ready already if they weren't taking extreme steps to keep it legal and to walk the line. If they could,
That's what I wanted to
Mhm.
get into. It is legal.
At the moment, yeah.
Absolutely, and they're gonna keep
Yeah.
it that they're gonna keep it that way.
Mhm.
Uh, they're trying to keep it to where. Well, let me just ask it this way: what is their plans for presenting it to Bethesda, or how do they want it to present it to
Well,
Bethesda?
at the moment, they're all in different. If it would be the easiest thing, and the best thing in the world for them would be if they were given permission to use Bethesda's code and logging, because this is what's taking. This is why it's taking so long. They can take the client, get onto a server, and have the server crash after 3 seconds, or because it's trying to connect to Bethesda, which they have to cut off, obviously. And then they have to go through the logs and see where the error was and fix them one by one. If they could have access to Bethesda's logs, which they could have access to. Any one of them could hack it, but to keep it legal, they're doing it the long, hard, slogging way. That means, thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of codes, errors to fix each week. Sometimes I've spoken to them. They said, look, we've got to take a week or two off because we've just been looking at screens for like 12 hours a day. Right. So it's really hard going, but they're really determined to not give a foothold to be shut down for some kind of legal loophole. To that end as well, they're all in different parts of the world where certain parts could be kind of like a legal gray area, but in a different part of the world, it's absolutely fine to work on that aspect of it.
Right.
So, and eventually that's all going to come together. They will not be able to distribute any of the game files or anything else. You know, people are going to have to be able to. There will be forums about how you can get it, where you can get it, but they won't be distributing that themselves, because that would be a big legal no-no.
Right.
But you will know how to do it. It will be available. So.
Right. And again, if you haven't heard about this, this is a very good reason why. This is why they're kind of working in the shadows right now. They're doing it the right way. So with all that out of the way, let's get to the nitty and gritty of this and the good part about it. And by the way, I want to say we're in no way going to get to everything today. We're going to try to stay in layman's terms, because that's what I can understand.
And that's what I can speak. So we're good for today. Yeah.
But if you guys have questions, please leave them down in the comments below. I'll try to ask or answer. If I don't have the answer, I'll get to Gizmo. If he don't have the answer, then we'll definitely...
I will pass it on to the team. One of the things we are planning to do with that team is actually do a deep dive soon. It has come up. They've asked me, do I want to do a deep dive? And that's when I kind of thought, well, I need to get in contact with some other bigger content creators than me, because that could be really cool. Right? If we did a dev dive, a couple of big content creators get in on that as well, that could really give it some traction. All I can say is that they really need the support of the community to give them, a little bit of enthusiasm to go on and not attacking, and they just need your support. It's a hard job. It's
Absolutely.
A hard job.
How many people basically are working on this? And I know we don't know exactly, but
there's on one of my videos, someone said, yeah, it's like 1 or 2 people in their mom's basement. I could tell you it's not 1 or 2. There's quite a few, and they're all spread out. I'm in a server with them all. I kind of check it every now and again, but what the messages that go back and forth are kind of like they're talking code, and I'm like,
they don't need me and you. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much. But they like the work the content creators do, the good ones that kind of go out there and say, yeah, this is going well. It gives them a little bit of a boost as well, because it's a thankless job, really, because they're not getting paid for it. They're not going to get money from this, so the only thing they can ask is a little bit of support and positivity, really.
And they're not going to want money at all. This is free the whole way. They're not ever going to want money.
As far as I'm aware, if they are wanting money for it, I have not been part and party to that. But I've asked them, and they said no, they're not. They're not thinking of money at this point in time. So
back to the game itself, because I know that's what most of us are excited about. They definitely want to bring survival back. I know a lot of people want that mode to come back. They want nuclear winter to come back. Can you explain how, again, keeping it kind of simple, but how are some of these modes going to work? Say I want to set up a survival match or a nuclear winter match. How would that go about?
Well, I mean, this is one of the things. It's not going to be a centralized thing at the moment, because that's one of those big legal issues. So the way that they can start it off is that
I would be hosting my own server, like you said, like a Minecraft server. Okay.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's probably going to come down to some of these bigger Discord servers. Like, I know that the House of Fuzz, which is where I'm based at the moment with my channel and stuff, run by Dr. Fuzzy. I have no doubt that there will be people in that are running nuclear winter servers for anybody who wants to get in and have matches and different stuff like that. The waiting time will be a lot less, obviously. So that's how that's going to work. If you wanted to make, let's say, a place on your server where people could come in and do nuclear winter, it's I think it's a big community possibility. Like, you'll get communities spring up that want to do it. Another question I'm asked quite a lot is how is the server stability going to be handled, because obviously sometimes we all know that they had problems when it was based on big Bethesda servers. So how are you and I going to run a stable nuclear winter server off a home computer? I don't have an answer for that yet, but that is one of the questions that we're going to get into in the dev dive.
Great. Yeah, I mean, I can just see it, whether it be a Facebook group, find them on Twitter, like you said, a Discord group. Yes, this would be making great community groups coming up around this.
This is the thing. This is the thing as well. It's kind of like, if you wanted to run, let's say, a week's event of nuclear winter, fat men only, because you can mod it to have what weapons you want in the nuclear winter, right? So you could have like 50 people running around with no one's going to do that, because why would you? It's just an example. Or pistols only, or melee only, knives only, and have an event and you can run your own leaderboard. It's the only thing that would be stopping us would be your imagination about what you could do with it, right? So I think it has a huge potential to really make a community come together. I hope. A lot of people draw attention to the toxicity in nuclear winter, but I think every single game has that toxic element. But it will be policeable by the people who are running these servers, I would imagine.
Now, we'll get into adventure mode in just a minute, but if I remember right, one of the devs talked about they're actually wanting to expand nuclear winter, not just the basic nuclear winter, but maybe a free-for-all, a capture the flag.
Yeah, capture the flag, yeah.
Even other kinds of things that they can work on.
Well, this is apparently the thing. There already is an existing code in the game for that mode.
Really?
They never implemented it. Apparently, this is how I understood it. I might have understood wrong, but the guy basically said, because the interview I put up there was like a little cut. Like our entire interview was like an hour and a half, and I really had to cut it to what people would listen to, because he was talking about stuff. I was like, "Whoa, yeah," but yeah. So you'll be able to do that. That was already in the game. That was already planned, right? But then, obviously, Bethesda decided to veer away from PvP in general, to the point where you can barely PvP in Adventure nowadays anyway. Right. So, yeah.
Oh, see, that would be exciting. I would love to do that in Nuclear Winter, a Capture the Flag event. And see,
I think if
this is what I imagine custom worlds should be,
Yeah. Yeah, I think there were more than a couple of us who were hoping that when private worlds and public worlds came up, that there was going to be an option to make your own nuclear winter match, or kind of, but you can't, with 8 people still being the number in private worlds, and they've said they're not looking to expand that number.
Why
That's
not? Why do they not expand it to 25? I don't understand that.
I don't know. Well, even 25 for a nuclear winter match is not that great, but for a capture the flag,
but
I could see that happening.
At least to 25, right. And I'm just saying that because that's the normal server.
With the building elements in the game as well, you can imagine setting up like
your own base,
forts,
forts
that shoot at each other, or territory that you have to take. At the moment, they sent me a clip recently of. I need to get clarification on this before I really talk too much about it. But there was a nuclear winter defense drone that was in the. It's not a drone; it was like a mannequin, but you could dress it up as yourself in different poses, and it would act as and you can put it in Adventure on theirs at the moment, and it takes up zero budget. So whether zero budget is the thing they're talking about, I'm not quite sure. But one thing that I know they want to implement, and I'm not sure how this is going to work. You put a camp down. Let's say you build your camp, and then you move your camp later. The buildings that you built stay there, right? So you can literally rebuild Appalachia on your own private server. So you can, build up whatever you wanted to in that, and then drop your next camp, let's say, a few meters beyond, and continue building. So you could, in theory, you could build whatever, a whole city on the northeast of Appalachia or something, or take over Bogtown. Like I say, in theory, this is one of the things that they wanted to do. So when you move your camp, it doesn't delete what's there and move it to the next camp. It keeps the buildings that you have, so you can that were already there, and you will go off and build another camp.
You mean I don't have to pay 1,000 atoms for every time I build a new camp?
Well, I'm not sure what from the Atom Shop they're going to be able to put in, but I imagine they're going to be able to put in quite a lot. So yeah,
going beyond nuclear winter into the building, they talked about sustainable workshops, which kind of goes along with your building idea there, which makes sense. Why do you not? How do I word it right? Once you take over a workshop in your own private world, why does it go away? Why can you not maintain that workshop? You build it up. Why can it not be yours?
Well, because it's not your private server. It's not on your machine.
Exactly.
Right? So that's going to be the difference between what Bethesda's doing, because every single time you leave a private server, they wipe it off and give it to somebody else. Right. And the one that you do on your computer, which is yours and yours alone, and you decide what goes into it, who can play in it. But this is the kind of thing you can make a mod for it, start your own Discord server, and ask people to come in, and whatever things they need to download to play, it'll be like a Nexus mod. So whatever things they need to download to play on your server, you can make available. They'll download it, put it on and play. Another thing that people have told me, well, this is going to be kind of iffy because you'll get people with, putting dodgy stuff up there. You might get Trojans.
I was gonna ask you about hackers. Like that. What do we
hackers
do about
in the
hackers?
game? You police it yourself. I don't think there was never a good anti-cheat implemented into Fallout 76 at all. I mean,
so you would have to have within each community, you'd have to have moderators within each community.
Say so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Continuing on the cut content, this is what really excites me. Me and you were talking before the podcast started that there's a lot of cut content that's there in the code right now in the game that they're wanting to bring back to the game.
Yeah. Well, one of they made clear to me that because the team has changed, has been working on Fallout 76, right? So it's not the same team now.
Right.
My number one is it's very, very small, and it's not the same people, and it's not the people that really put the love into it at the beginning. Right, I think but they're not messing with stuff. So when they add something new, they're not deleting old stuff. So all the code for Mischief Night is still there. For example, all it takes to put Mischief Night,
the Halloween event, the great Halloween event.
It was the best event ever.
Yes, my favorite.
I loved it. It was absolutely.
So they want to bring that back.
They want to make it an option that you flick a switch. If you want it, you flick a switch. It's on.
Wow.
Right, and it's there because it's all there just to be switched on, basically. Wow. Right.
So I guess if you have your own server, you could flip on any of the seasonal events like that.
Of course. Yeah.
Let me mention some others, and you can probably help me with this. The election, all the different voting things that are around the
Presidential
world.
Day, yeah. President for a Day. I don't know what it was called exactly, but it's on one of my videos, actually. I've actually included on some of my, I think if you look over the last 6 or 7 videos I've done, there are some videos that have some footage from their playtesting. So you can have a look at that. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So,
great.
Yeah.
I will leave a link to that down in the description below. And y'all need to go subscribe to him anyway. I should have said that from the very beginning, by the way. He has a great channel. He's an awesome guy, so y'all go subscribe to him.
Thank you very much. You're too kind.
There's also a whole section in Flatwoods that they didn't include. There's a inspector that's supposed to come around Flatwoods. Of course, White Springs. You were talking about the White Springs.
Yeah, all those handprint locked buildings. There is a reason behind them. I don't know what they are. They do. They're going to try and bring the event that was supposed to be in on. They did tell me. It escapes my memory at the moment. But yes, all that kind of stuff they are bringing back into the game. Because the thing is, it started off as this kind of let's bring nuclear winter back, especially when the shutdown date was started. But because it had started 2 years before, it actually started from Adventure. And when they started trying to implement nuclear winter again, they actually found that those two modes were so tightly linked they couldn't bring back just nuclear winter.
Gotcha.
They need Adventure because if you ever noticed, whenever they made a change on the map in Adventure, if it was to that same section in nuclear winter, you would see that change as well. The best one being the mansion where they made the changes where the Mothman came in. Then that was also there as well on nuclear winter. Right, so they can't have one without the other because the code is interdependent. So they have to do both. Get them up to working, so they couldn't just do one. They have to do it all. That's another reason obviously why it's taking so long. So
one of the neatest things I heard from one of the devs of Server 76 was about the White Spring. This was so interesting to me. He said that the robots were originally supposed to get hostile at nighttime. Every night they're supposed to get hostile,
throw you out,
and kick everybody out, which is so cool.
I think that's just brilliant.
Yeah, the stores are closed. Get out. Yeah. If you don't have a room, get out. That's so great. But there's a bunch in Watoga. There's a bunch of cut content that people don't realize that they're wanting to bring back. So that is, well. Is there any other of the cut content that you wanted to speak on before we move on? I know that's what excites me the most, but
I know. I'm sure that when we go into the dev dive, if people leave comments in the section here below, I'm sure somehow I'll get wind of it. I am making notes at the moment of questions that people have in the community. I know that's high up on the list. Like, give us a list of exactly what's going to be reintroduced. Off the top of my head, I can't think of it, to be honest. But yeah.
Okay,
So if I know anything, as soon as I know anything, I'll make a video about it. I'll put it out.
the
So.
$10 million question: when is this going to be finished?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we all know about these kind of community projects and how reluctant they are to to give a date, because if they give a date, there's going to be a load of people disappointed, and sometimes it even turns toxic when they don't make the date, and this kind of
No, come on.
I know at the moment they've hit a brick wall, and they are taking a break for a couple of weeks to regather themselves. I got a message a couple of days ago that says this week they're implementing storm damage, rad damage, limb damage, and all this different stuff. They're trying to get some of the perk cards up and running. The game is actually playable at the moment. They have started playtesting. I was invited for a weekend. I was invited for a weekend of playtesting, and unfortunately, I couldn't install the client. And they had a lot of problems, and it kind of ended in a catastrophe. There's still a long way to go. I don't want to give a date because it's not my place to do it. I would love to see them get it done this year.
That did bring me to my next question, though. Are they going to have testing for part of the community?
Yes, they are. They are going to be very careful about who they can invite in.
I'm sure they have to be.
Test.
Yeah.
Right. The server that I am connected with on my channel, on some of the recent videos, I've recently become attached to the House of Fuzz Discord server. That is where there's like regular updates about the progress and how playtesting is going. If anybody wants to get involved in playtesting when it comes out, that will be the place to do it.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, you are the main man, so there's another reason to subscribe to Gizmo if you're very interested in this.
I am not the main man of that. I am the content creator for that.
You are the go-between. You are the mediator. You are the main man. That you are the face. You are the only face. That
I am the
networker.
Know. I like networking people and building connections. I do. And oh god, dear me, being on YouTube is so difficult sometimes because people, I think, are naturally suspicious of you when you come across as a nice guy. They're like, oh.
Yeah, what's he up to?
What's he up to? You know, it's just like, no, I'm like this in real life. I really am.
The shame of it is there's so much competition, and I don't want to be competing. I want to be nice.
I think there's enough subscription buttons out there for everybody.
I'm just throwing this one out to you. Is there any cost to the player in regards to Server 76? I know you talked about they're not looking to get any money, but if I want to sit down and do this, do I have to pay to host my own server?
No, at the moment you have to have a copy of the game on Steam.
Okay.
That is the only thing I can say. Another answer to the question a lot of people ask, is it going to come to consoles? When I originally asked them, they said there were no plans for it, but now they are actually starting to think about what it would take to bring it to consoles. That's obviously, it's going to be a lot more complicated, but they are cautiously optimistic that it's possible. But
see they're going to get people to gripe and whine and cry. See, you're going to get that. I go through Bethesda launcher, so I'm going to cry that my character can't be there. I got to buy me a whole new character and start all over. But that's all right.
Well, I mean, most people will have to start over. I don't think you'll be able to. I'm not sure. I mean, I'll have to ask them.
That's a good question there.
I'm not sure that they'll be able to bring their old characters over. You will have to probably start from the beginning. I'm not sure how that whole thing is going to work. Maybe they'll make a fix for that, where you can take like the files off your computer and splice them in somehow to get your character back. But I'm not sure. But I think your character details are kept online only on the Bethesda server.
There's your good question. You need to write that question down and send to the dev team. There's for our next.
Well, I mean, the thing is, when we do the dev dive, I'm hoping if they agree to it, I'm hoping to stream it live so we can answer questions from the community as it goes. That would be my perfect. I'm not sure if they're prepared to do that, but that would be my preference if we could do it.
I know. Hopefully, they will be closely in the future. Well. I wanted to keep this first video kind of short. I have a ton more questions, but I'm going to leave those for part 2. But I will open up the floor right now. If you have anything left that any of the basics I didn't get covered, let us know now.
That's absolutely fine. No, absolutely. I just want to say thank you for inviting me to be a part of this. I hope that we might get together on a podcast at some point in the future as well, and
Absolutely.
hash this out in front of a live audience. That would be cool.
Well, as I told you before the podcast, I want to invite you, and I'll do it right here on camera. I want to invite you to the Kingcast that I have every Saturday at 4:30 Central, and we will actually talk
great.
about this live as well. So
that will be great. Yeah, I'll get back to you in terms of dates when I'm free. But yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to do it.
Yeah, y'all be looking for that. And if you have any questions for me, for Gizmo, or for the devs, please put them down in the description below. Again, please go subscribe to Gizmo. Go check out his channel. Go watch all of his videos 3 times. And be sure to like them as well.
I need to make some playlists. I know people do that just to support. They put a playlist on and go to sleep and just have them all.
There you go.
You need to do it. You know, it is good. So I have to say, I am looking to get up to that ever elusive 1,000 subs. So
yeah, we need to get
my
you
aim
there
for this year.
That's my aim for this year. We can do it. Yeah. We can do it.
Hey, let's do it.
I don't know if
I love your enthusiasm,
and I know you're one of them. I have the best subscribers on YouTube. So
you do.
We can get
you do
there.
Absolutely. You do. I believe I mentioned that in one of my recent films as well. I said that all of your subscribers are great. I love the way that they interact with you. I love the fact that they're also respectful. So yeah, more please come and support me because it's a dog. I want some nice people. I've got nice people before my subscribers, evacuate in droves.
So if you're nice, go subscribe to Gizmo. Well, I am the KingFanMan Gizmo. Thanks again, and we will be coming back and talking more to you about Server 76. I can't wait. Bye, guys.
I can't wait as well. See you later. Bye-bye.